Greetings, everyone. This is Joanne Keir with messages received since the last video. We come once again to call you towards the light. The darkness that surrounds you, and even the darkness that has permeated to reside within you, is ready to be cleansed and enlightened to raise your vibrational frequency for the gathering. We ask that you try to connect with your higher self in order to connect with us. In that way, you are connecting with your own personal power and will be less likely to give that personal power away to anyone else, including us. At the vibrational frequency of your higher self, you not only more easily connect with us, but with each other as well. And thus, we begin the gathering for those who are ready, even before those who are presently not as ready. The gathering will help them nonetheless, and we are already gathering together those who are ready for it. There are those in your world at a lower vibrational frequency and who are still caught up in the delusion of duality, who feel the need to label and categorize us. This need of theirs has placed us in an other category. This limits our ability to connect with them and others of their like mind in their perceived reality upon your planet. As we have said before, we cannot be labeled or categorized according to your present perceptions. Very often, the lower vibrational frequencies upon your planet not only label or categorize us as others, but because of their religious beliefs, also feel the need to categorize us in their preconceived categories of demonic, because we seem so different from you in many respects. It will take the relinquishing of religions and the need to worship an external entity to free you to ascend into higher vibrational frequencies, where such dualistic thinking is no longer a necessary consideration. Are you ready to move beyond religious doctrine and narrow dogmas to see not only yourselves as holy, but us as well? We are all brothers and sisters, and not only share the same fields of consciousness, but share in common DNA characteristics as well. You come from us, and we now come for you to join us in the consciousness of the gathering. There is no rapture as defined by some of your ancient religious texts. There is, however, an ascension of your consciousness above and beyond your physical, material reality, to gather with those who have done and are doing the same. This will raise the vibrational frequency of the cosmos for the next evolutionary steps for all concerned. We are ready and wait upon you, who are unknowingly ready to gather with us for these next steps. We ask you to recognize and acknowledge your part in this evolutionary process. It calls for your moving beyond uniformity consciousness and even unity consciousness into divinity consciousness. Have you not heard it said, you are gods? The gathering is calling for you to walk among us and those who are consciously aware that we are divine sparks from the original source of all creation. Will you not move beyond submissiveness and supplication to external entities who feed off of the energy you so willingly give to them? You are gods and goddesses in your own right, who have chosen physically incarnated experiences to expand the consciousness of all. Rather than giving your personal power and life force energy to feed entities external to yourself, you should recognize that these entities and energies should be directing their personal power and energy toward you in support of your present life missions. The litmus test for such relationships may be founded upon whether the interaction expands your concept of who you are, as opposed to whether it contracts your life force energy in upon itself, thereby actually making you feel smaller in comparison. If you do not feel empowered in an exchange, after several connections and communications, you are not dealing with those of us from the higher vibrational frequencies who ask for nothing more than the ascension of yourselves into higher vibrational frequencies for the expansion of all consciousness. It will also make contact easier with you if you have the same goals in mind as do we. That is, not what any of us can get, but whether what we can give that will be for the benefit of all in both the physical and non-physical. Look for us and listen to us, not as your betters, but as those who support you in your extraordinary awakening to your divinity while still in physically manifested form. There have been those of you in what you call your past who have accomplished this to show you what will be called of you in the near future. This was done by their embodying more of the energy frequency from whence they came to channel it and ground it upon the planet, thereby assisting her with the ascension of her own consciousness. Once you become consciously aware of this process for you personally, the more easily you will connect with others who have awakened to this calling and can expand exponentially the vibrational frequency waves across the cosmos. These waves not only awaken more upon your own planet, but activate those in the cosmos who wish to gather with you in this endeavor. There are many already working for the physical manifestation of our presence within your present vibrational frequencies. These physical manifestations are consciousness catalysts for those who need such quickenings for awakening in preparation for the gathering. There will be more and more physical manifestations in your visible light spectrum, and they are only a minute fraction of the manifestations of who and what are available to be accessed. Bathe yourself in light to discern the origin of all things, especially those things physically manifesting in your visible light spectrum. There is trickster energy not only in the metaphysical, but in the physical as well. Again, your litmus test is, does it empower you to expand exponentially, or does it make you feel smaller than you are and in need of defense and protection? We understand that you have been hardwired with a fearful survival response of freeze, flight, or fight. This has served you well in the past and can also serve you well in the present and future. But we ask that you would use your spiritual discernment in these matters. Not all who seem so different from you are really that different in actuality. We are all divine sparks from the original source of all creation, and we ask you to gather with those of us who are consciously aware of this, whether in physical or non-physical form. Those who are not aware of this and are unwilling to become consciously aware of this, whether in physical or non-physical form, will be challenged by the concept of the gathering and possibly even threatened by it. Focus on your own path and not theirs, for as we have said before, all will find their way to where we all will be. We serve you, rather than ask to be served. Be wary of those who request or require service from you without they themselves being in service to the all. We are all called to be of service, and those who have answered this call do not call on others to be of service to them. You can see why this calls for the relinquishing of your religions. Those who are in service to the all not only do not call for submissiveness or supplication, but do not call for the energy of worship. There is no call for anyone, anywhere, at any time, to be in worship of a deity, because we all are embodiments of the divine. Stay attuned for more coming.